after the show, Vince McMahon comes out and he says something like, tonight is good old JR appreciation night. And I can tell you, no one appreciates JR more than I do. JR was born and reared here in Oklahoma in the tradition of Oklahoma and Americana, values of hard work and dedication. James Brown, the late James Brown, used to state that he was the hardest working man in show business, but he never met Jim Ross. When it comes to dedication, most of you know JR as good old JR from behind the announce position. He certainly did that better than anyone else in the history of our business, including Gordon Soley. JR, in terms of his work ethic, this is a true story. During a pay-per-view, a 3-hour pay-per-view, JR passed a kidney stone. He would not leave his post. He passed a kidney stone and kept on commentating. As far as being on the other side, many of you don't know JR's executive skills. As far as dedication is concerned, there's probably no one any more dedicated in the history of our business than JR is to WWE. Whether it was talent, recruitment, development, management, or whether it was the televised production and presentation, whether it was the untold hours and hours he would sit at his desk in the office or at home 24 hours a day, trying to conjure up matches that would be enticing for you to want to see. JR would do anything for this business. And a testament to that would be something that in this ring here, this arena, some time ago, when JR joined a certain special club that we won't mention. Again, JR would do anything for the business. When you think of JR, you have to think of legacy and what he continues to leave. When you think of this fact that the product now is at least in 30 different languages and at least 150 different countries all over the world, JR is a household name worldwide. You'd have to wonder, however, some of JR's terms translate. How would slobber knocker translate in Chinese? Or stomp a mud hole and walk it dry maybe in German? Or how about some of the other terms JR said so many times, like business is about to pick up? It always picked up when he was right here or behind the scenes contributing to WWE. There's many people who could say many wonderful things and accolades about Jim Ross. I would just like to state that Jim Ross is an American icon and my friend. Thank you, Jim. Wow. How about that?
Yeah. Who'd have thought that was coming down the pike, right?
This is totally flipping the script from what we're used to in Oklahoma. Normally you're going to bleed or kiss somebody's ass. Here comes a cinder block. None of that happened. It was fantastic, man. Were you surprised by this? Did this catch you off guard? What did Jan think?
She cried. She was very emotional. She, kept saying, I knew he loved you, JR. I knew. Well, sometimes he didn't give me that indication that he loved me. But nonetheless, it was a big surprise and very much appreciated, to say the very least. And to do it there in Oklahoma City was a big deal. And so, yeah, Vince, and that was all off the cuff. He didn't have the script. Nobody wrote his lines down. He just came fired from the hip, and that's where we were. So I was very, very honored that he had those words to say, and I don't know how he could have done it any better.
Was this, I know it caught you off guard, it wasn't planned, but had you heard during your time together? I mean, we've all seen how he would at times pick on you on air, but have you had like heart to hearts like this where you saw this Vince before, or is he revealing that to you for the first time?
No, I knew that he cared, and I knew that he was sincere. But I just shouldered so much, I took so much off his plate that, and I think sometimes I don't want to say he took it for granted, but it was just a really cool thing, to be honest with you, Conrad. We had a lot of talks, one-on-ones, and some were very stern, some were very real, some were funny, some were poignant, but he trusted me. And he trusted me with his most valuable asset, the talent.
Yeah.
So, so I was very, very much grateful for all my opportunities in WWE and as the stood are ongoing now in AEW. I've been a very lucky guy in this business. Here, no fat Okie with a Southern accent and can't smile because of 3 bouts of facial paralysis. Why does JR never smile? He's never happy. I'm happy all the time. I just can't smile. It's still a paralysis around my mouth is what it is. So, but Vince was always I always really knew where I stood with him. Sometimes the last guy to talk to him could sway him in a different way. But for me, he was just, he was a man's man. And I think that's what he liked about me. When we were alone, and just the two of us in a meeting, the meetings were very succinct. They were real. And I just had a great, believe it or not, I had a great time working with Vince, working for him, learning under him, and all those things. But did we always get along? No. We didn't have the same basic philosophy sometimes. He liked sizzle. I like steak. They don't mean either one of us is wrong. It just meant that we like different things. And I think that came into play in a good way, more often than not. But, he struck onto a chord where the audience gave a damn about JR. And a lot of that was because of Vince and Vince's actions, whether me kissing his ass or getting punched out by somebody, or like he alluded to Bischoff in the cinder block or whatever. It was just, we had a great relationship in that regard that nobody's going to really believe how good it was. But he used me as a I don't know, what is the word, muse or something. He was just really good at picking things out that the audience was going to respond to. And one of those things was having some fun with good old JR's TV personality.